which one do you think each one of you said in your podcast episode with me? Based on the characteristic I say, you guys will be like, hell yeah, or or deal breaker.
Like that's a no. Because I think with my lived experience, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like there's still that disconnect. I'm like, oh, I won't be able to relate.
For someone like me, in the way that I do my work with my clients, it essentially wouldn't work out, and I would refer them out. So I think that's the big thing that popped out. Yeah.
Nice. Anita, you. How
Similar.
would you do? Yeah?
Yeah, that was what
No,
came to
I
mind.
don't want that answer.
It is. It was like, yeah, it was like willingness.
Okay. Wow. But you're hitting something deep right now that's like, yes.
Ooh. What's up, fam? Welcome back to the mini-series where we transform competitors into collaborators. Hello, I'm Elisa, the brand strategist, aka that behind the Vivid Edge channel. Ooh, we've been building up to this special moment today. If you've been tuning in, you may have met Rosie, Karen, and Anita.
Links to their individual episodes will be in the show notes.
Not only are all three of them life coaches, they also happen to be Filipina and nurses. All right, we got competition on competition on competition times 3. Yes. So today we're bringing in these 3 brave souls together into a panel. Yes, they're going to duke it out. We are going to really tease out what makes each of them unique. Spoiler alert, all 3 of them walk away with so much more clarity, clear message, clear audience, aka
Niche slapped.
oh, it's good. Let's dive in. I want to start off with 2-word game. Actually, wait, no, hello. I'm going to introduce you guys. Rosie or Rosemarie. She's in the Bay. I feel like you guys already know each other. I'm sorry. She is in the Bay. Rosie, say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rosemarie Dominia, but I go by Rosie for short, born and raised in San Francisco. I mean, long story short, it's the one thing I love about healing that I feel is not in conventional medicine, although I do seed some of it in with my primary care patients. But the emotional, spiritual, mental health game is my specialty. And I love inner healing. I love going deep with people's healing and holding that space where it's safe and not judgmental. I really do geek about it. It makes me happy when patients have their aha moments and when they recognize that they can love themselves for who they are, no matter how they show up. But it's been a great game. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for a lot of things, but right now I'm just thinking about my family and my loved ones and my partner and my stepson. I'm just grateful to have them in my life.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. And we're headed down to Karen because she's on my bottom right. All right, Karen, where are you at, girl? Where are you from?
Yeah,
Oh, you have it right there, Huntington Beach. Okay, but tell us.
Yes, Huntington Beach, California. Well, like for me, I specialize in working with immigrant women of color who struggle with, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and really transforming that into like deep, profound self-trust. And I love life coaching, but now I'm noticing I'm attracting quite a bit of like solopreneurs. And the way I do, because like I do have a master's in spiritual psychology, so putting that twist of spirituality in business. So and the name of my company is Heart-Centered Holistic Coach. So like, we're multidimensional being. You can never separate life and business and other parts of our life. Yes, and today I'm grateful for I finished work on time.
Yes, that is huge. I'm so glad you mentioned that. And then you are here with us.
Yeah.
So grateful. All right. Thank you, Karen. Last but not least, Anita Vita. It's not really Bonita. That's just my nickname for her. It's just Anita Vita.
Yes, ma'am. Hi,
Where are you
everyone.
coming from?
My name's Anita Vita. I think I've met a few of you, if I didn't connect both of you on social already, and even
goody.
on a coffee chat. And I'm from Los Angeles, California. And the business that I've been really honing in on is supporting and helping women nurses in chronic pain. So burnout has been the biggest thing that led me to this path, and also side by side with the spiritual aspect of it. So I'm a Qigong nurse coach. Karen had said we're always ever changing and multidimensional. So I'm leading with that. So I have a few programs that I'm already just in the works. I'm reworking it because I'm also a continuing education provider. So I'm so excited to finally do something with that because I haven't. And I'm happy to be here.
Gratitudes, my dear.
I'm most grateful for being able to show up for myself today. This is something that I love. I'm grateful that Elisa had this, for us to come together. I've had a really difficult last few weeks, like really a month with family. So I'm happy to just be nurtured by everyone and also have the opportunity to also give. So I'm super happy. I'm really grateful.
Thank you. And I feel like I've said my grateful 50 million times already. I'm so grateful for you guys for showing up, doing this with me, playing, experimenting. All right. And then just for shits and giggles, y'all. Real quick trivia. I'm going to give y'all 3 options. And you are going to pick the option that all of you mentioned. So 3 words. Which one do you think each one of you said in your podcast episode with me? So option number 1, inner child. Option number 2, partner. Option number 3, healer. Hold on. Give you all some time to think. Uh-oh. I don't know how to stop this. Okay. You are going to X. There's no stop button. All right. You guys ready? Give me a nod, a wink. Yeah. Yeah. You guys have your option. All right. Rosie, I'm going to start with you. What was it? Was it option number 1, inner child, 2, partner, or healer? What do you think?
I'm going to say healer.
All right. Hey, Karen.
1,
Which was inner
inner
child?
child.
All right. Anita.
I'm going with healer.
Ooh, and the winner is healer. You are all healers. Okay, now what does that mean to you, Karen? You're a healer, Karen. But what? So actually, no. Let me ask that again. Why did you pick inner child? What does that mean to
Well, I think because I've been focusing on inner child
you?
work right now. So I'm like, oh, maybe inner child.
Yeah, that was a trap. I knew.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd pick inner child.
I knew it.
But yeah, what
Trick
aspect of
question.
inner child? So tell us.
The training like trauma-informed coaching and like,
Mm.
like all the beliefs, whether they be good or, well, like nothing really is good or bad, like, working or not working. It all boils down from like, that inner child that hasn't been healed, that
Mhm.
hasn't been nurtured. And sometimes just spending time, because I've been spending time with my inner child and looking at my 7-year-old picture and just giving her the love that she needed. Yeah.
Was healer your second choice?
Yes.
All right. All right, Anita. So you picked healer.
Mm-hmm.
Was that easy for you?
Yes.
Why did that? You zoomed in right in on that.
I mean, I think not a lot of people consider nursing as a healing position. I like that early Rosie had mentioned about the spiritual, mental, and emotional aspect. Because the way I was learning it, I was to like, oh, just turn off those switches. And it's those switches that need to stay on so we can stay empathic and intuitive and still be able to connect deeper with not just our patients, but our colleagues and really anyone around us. Let me add a little bit to that too. Like healing yourself will then make you an even better healer and therefore a better nurse. Because in our position as nurses, we're never receiving, or we're not taught how to learn how to receive. I'll just say we're always just giving. And so we don't know how to receive back, or unless, at least in my experience, unless someone has actually recognized that I have done something good, or given a thank you, or any acknowledgement from colleagues, administration, just anybody really. I like that you started off with that question, what healing means. I don't think anybody has actually sat to think about, well, who am I as a healer when I'm a nurse? What does that actually mean? It's freaking hard, because if you can't do it for yourself, you can't do it for anybody else. Because imagine if I had a nurse who 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 understood that side of themselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I feel, and I really believe that they won't be as sick. Now that's preventative medicine, I believe. Yeah.
Thank you, Anita. So on the topic of healing yourself, healing thyself, and the definition of healing, Rosie, I'm going to you. Anything to add? Your own definition? Thoughts came up?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both, what Karen and Anita shared with their personal experiences and their views on what we've seen. I think one, healing is a sacred journey. And I think the way, if I go on the route of the institution, conventional medicine is not set up for people to really look at the deeper stuff, the inner child, the traumas. We're all about the physical symptoms. And so I think in that way, when you have people who are awakened to this journey, like all of us here, to healing and what that really means for the self, once you can you know that for yourself, then you can branch out, and it is a ripple effect. And I do feel that if you can find that for yourself, being that guide for someone to recognize their own divinity and their own healing, because I think it's something you can't necessarily teach someone or tell them what to do. I think each individual has to rise to the occasion and see that in themselves first. Because in reality, humankind, we're not going to change unless we know we need to. We can give advice, we can give recommendations, and seeing patients in both the context of an RN at the bedside and also as a nurse practitioner in primary care, I can give recommendations, but if someone's not ready to hear it, they're just going to ignore it. But I do stand by, we can still be the guide and just open the door just a little bit. I believe that small hinges can swing the door wide open to many possibilities. So I think in that way, we can be their intro to healing. I think it is, again, a sacred process that when someone's ready to do it, then we jump on in, but we also have to go at their pace. We can't rush someone to dive into something that they're truly not ready for. And that is okay too. All of it, someone's journey and holding them in the space of where they are is already healing for someone because they feel accepted and heard. And I think that's a very key thing for all of us to remember when we witness someone's journey.
Oh, I love it. You all are talking about the same thing. It's so great, so much alignment, but in your own language. Like Karen saw it in the inner child, Anita saw it in terms of like preventative care, that ripple effect, and then Rosie about being that guide. Karen, what's your favorite modality you use in your coaching practice?
Oh, well, right now, like since I was just trained like Lego serious play, so I'm like loving the Lego serious play coaching and incorporating play. And second would be like, the clear beliefs and inner child healing. It's just so yummy.
I see the theme of play. Tell us a little bit about Lego serious play and how do you use that with your clients?
Well, like for me, like, I would ask them like, okay, build a model to illustrate or show your challenges at the moment. So they would build the bricks, and then when they're ready to reveal, like they would tell the story. And then I could either tell them to set that aside and then build another model that would show their vision, like, 2 years from now, and just showing that distinction and discrepancy.
Oh, decision. So it sounds like you're tapping into almost like a subconscious thing too, because
yes. Because I've experienced that, like, like my coach asked me like, okay, what does that brick represent? And when I was building it, there was nothing. But then when she asked that question, like an answer suddenly came out. I'm like, oh, that was from my subconscious. So
wow. Oh, very cool. Thank you, Karen. Anita, favorite modality in your coaching practice?
My favorite modality, believe it or not, it's talking about emotions. Can you believe it, sis? So I love, love, love getting to a place with my clients where they will cry. Well, when they can and are open to cry with me. It is the most cathartic, but also most releasing and acknowledging like there's just so much pent up energy, whether that's
Mm.
positive or negative, and inside of nurses, all their bodies, right? Mental, physical, emotional. When they finally have that time to release with me, even like initially through our meditation practice or just talking, it's like a safe place, like Rosie had said, to be seen and heard. That's like really what I love.
I love how you guys are
Yeah.
referring to each other. You're all such great listeners. So, anyone who's watching, these coaches are great listeners, and that's really what you should be looking in a coach too. So, Anita, was it
Mhm.
difficult for you to cry before?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. So for me, right, the hospital is a masculine space.
Ironically, even though there's, 90%
It still
Filipino
is.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you found that for yourself,
Yeah.
the
So
crying.
I had to learn to soften. Like, what the heck was that? I didn't know. And so my body was starting to break down. No one supports me. I think that's what I said. I was like, nobody supports me. This institution sucks. Like I was just blaming everything about how everybody wasn't supporting me. And the truth was like I didn't know how to support myself. I didn't know
Mm.
to set boundaries, to ask for my breaks.
A
I
hard
didn't
pill
ask
to
for
swallow.
relief. I didn't ask.
It sounds like because of the intensity, you had to develop like this callus.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, this is too much. I can't stand it. And you're like,
Yeah.
soften and then cry.
Yeah.
Uh,
Feel. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
feel.
Feel.
Exactly.
It's the
Feel.
scariest thing, right?
It is, but
Feel and
so
acknowledge it. Yeah.
powerful when it's
Yes.
harnessed correctly.
Yes.
Thank you, Anita.
You're welcome.
Rosie, fave modality.
Ooh, you know me. You go deep with the conversations. I love, love, love going deep and having my clients recognize a power that they don't know they have, but already exists. And so it's, for example, I love talking about self-care. And so
Mm-hmm.
something I've asked my clients and also as a primary care provider, if someone says, I've been really stressed out and I have no time to exercise and I'm really tired when I get home. And the question I've been asking a lot of my clients this year or like this past year is, well, how do you take care of yourself when you're at work? And it doesn't dawn on people that self-care is just not a time that you have put aside after the fact, but you actually need self-care in the moments where it's really rough and it's really tough. And so when we dive into it deeper, just recognizing that even one breath, one intentional breath takes 5 seconds. So going deep, making connections, but that already exists because they're like, I never thought of that. I could really do that. And so a trick I'll do even with some of my patients at work, when I'm taking their blood pressure and I have the pulse ox on their finger, I actually have them take a few deep breaths and do their blood pressure. Sometimes it's really high. I'm like, let's do it again. The white coat syndrome thing's real. People get anxious and people get stressed out when they're in the hot seat getting analyzed. And it's amazing. Their blood pressure, like the systolic number goes down by like 10 points, diastolic goes down, and their heart rate drops by like 10 beats. And I'm like, that was less than a minute. Look what you did. And so showing them in real time that small bite-sized times really do matter if you make it intentional. It's possible to do. Be creative. And I love sparking creativity, folks. Be creative with what the time that you do have in the little moments. Again, 5 seconds. We can scroll or pick up our phone in 5 seconds and put that password in. If we can do that, then we can stop and take a deep breath. So just kind of drawing, making those connections for folks. That's where I get excited. I'm like, you can do this. It's there. I just have to dust off a little of the stuff that, it's been clouded over time, but it exists.
All right. So I heard something. All right. So this is what I'm teasing out. Yes. Nurse coaches. Yes. Y'all do the talk therapy. But I see a slight divergence. I think that's the word. Anita, I don't know if maybe you were probably not intentionally, but just subconsciously, intuitively, you are leading your clients to release, to put that wall down. Whereas Rosie, it seems that you are leading your clients to go around a blind spot potentially to realize their power. That's kind of what I gathered from this conversation. Because you did not emphasize release so much, but you said you are there to help them hold space, breathe, so that they realize that they had that permission. Karen, did I see you have some thoughts?
No, I was just like witnessing the strategic strength happening. I was just like, I just wanted to reflect that to you. I'm like, oh.
Thank you. So Karen, also she, like all of us, she's obsessed with personality tests, and one of the ones that she's very into is Clifton Strengths, and she gave me a little debrief on my Clifton Strengths. And no surprise, one of my top 5 strengths is strategy, strategic thinking. So this is kind of how I'm setting up you guys. Is that Rosie is like dropping into that space so that her client feels safe enough to embrace this power, this permission, and Anita holding that space so that the client has permission to release and just feel. So something to noodle on, you guys. All right, so let's get into clients. So this is going to be a little game. Work with me. Y'all are dancers, very embodied. So we're going to do some hand movements. Okay. Because I just thought of this very late and didn't have enough time to send you guys like props or cards to do it properly. So we're going to do some hand movements. Okay. All right. So think of it like red light, yellow light, green light, but we don't have those colors. So green, 2 thumbs up, and you can get sassy with it. I don't care. Yellow light, and lukewarm. Red, deal breaker. All right. So I'm going to go through certain customer characteristics, client characteristics. And based on the characteristic I say, you guys will be like, hell yeah, or deal breaker. You guys good? Okay, we'll do a practice round. All right. Okay. All right. You receive a email from your discovery form, and you see that it is a male. Thumbs up, or lukewarm. Yeah, okay. Karen is lukewarm. All right. He's white. Karen? A white male? So that's 2 in a row, Karen. That's 2 in a row. That's 2 in a row. So 2 in a row is kind of like deal breaker. And Anita, you had male, cool, white. And Rosie, she got the double thumbs up. All right. So let's talk about this for a second. This is the trial run. Yes, I'm so glad at how well it went. All right. So let's go with Rosie. Double thumbs up for you. Yeah, no problems. No. Okay. Yeah. So you have a pretty diverse clientele. Yeah, gotcha. All right. Anita, first you're like, thumbs up, he's male. Cool. And then when it got to the white, you're like,
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell me.
I'm just really passionate about just women and supporting women in color. So I just haven't really attracted white males to work with. And
but you wouldn't be opposed?
No, I wouldn't. That's why I'm just like,
Yeah.
But I'm really in a place I'm just in a place where I really want to just focus on who I want to serve. So yeah, that's why I'm just like, probably in the past I would have been like, yeah. In fact, I wanted to serve everybody. But now I'm like, nah, that's why.
But male. So you said you
Yeah.
wanted to focus on women of color, but male.
Sure.
So what is it about men that you're still open to serving?
I think because of just my experience and being so masculine, I know I'd be able to help someone who wanted to balance both masculine and feminine, and I know how to do that. So with my own
Mm,
practice in opening my heart and softening, why not? I have space, I have room.
all right.
And
Okay.
so that's nice that they would want to. In fact, yeah, I've had male clients, so
All
mhm.
right. And Karen,
Yeah.
you were lukewarm on both.
Yeah. Well, because now I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I have male clients, like, realtors, but they're balanced, like, they're masculine and feminine's balance. And now thinking white, I'm like, oh, you're right. Like, that's a no. Because I think, like, with my lived experience, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, there's still that disconnect. I'm like, oh, I won't be able to relate, and they won't be able to relate. I've worked with, like, collabs with white coaches. I'm not opposed to that, but I think there's certain level of awareness, evolution, self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you all. So, I mean, there is no wrong answer. Really, this is to help you guys build conviction. Like, this is my business. I'll serve who I want and be happy. Enjoy it. All right, third round. White male, third. Trait, nurse. A white male nurse. All right, cool. Double thumbs up by the
What?
quickness, and you guys are very synchronized. Relationship issues with their partner. All right, partner is also a male. So queer. Anita. Anita, what was the pause? Dealing with burnout. Has not come out to parents yet. All right. Ooh, this is a toughie, y'all. We're in deep. Okay. What would be the deal breaker? So Rosie and Anita, your experience. So if you are picturing this man and he's coming to you for help, what would you look for how to support him on his journey? So let's start with you, Rosie.
I don't know if I'm answering your question directly, but it just made me think of the hard line for me is if someone says, I need you to fix it. And it's this continued like codependent, like you need to fix it, you need to fix it. Why are you not helping me? Then there's a talk about that. And then I think that's where it, for someone like me in the way that I do my work with my clients, it essentially wouldn't work out. And I would refer them out. So I think that's the
Very
big thing that popped out.
specific.
Yeah.
Nice. Anita, you, how would you
Similar.
do? Yeah.
Yeah, that was what
No,
came to
I don't
mind.
want that answer.
It is. It was like, yeah, it was like
Okay.
willingness.
The willingness. Okay, yeah.
Yes. And that I'm a guide. Like I am your guide. You still have to do the work. And and I love that Rosie had just said, like, take responsibility and accountability for their own actions. And so I'm very clear in the beginning, like, this is going to be a journey and it's not a quick fix.
Thank you all for your honesty. That was a big fail on my part. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. There's only so much you as coaches can, you still have to meet them halfway. There's,
Right.
You guys are very clear on what you want in terms of a client. And it's up to them now to see like, okay, Rosie style versus Anita style. So we'll do another round. Female. All right. Yes. 18 years old. Oh. Wants to go into nursing. Okay. She wants to have a child. There are moments where she'll go dead silent for a whole month. Yeah. Okay. You guys are not thwarted. I get it. Okay. So Karen, these are still very surface level kind of characteristics. What next question would you ask to figure out if she's a good fit for you or not?
I know trauma because, like, one of my strengths Elisa, you know it, maximizer. I take someone good to great. I don't have restorative strength. So like when they have really physical abuse, deep abuse, no, because I've already experienced that. And
That's
my
good. Yeah.
doesn't match those kinds of clients.
So you would ask that.
You know, rate that was really bad. If it's not something like really, really traumatic, like I could help them.
Okay. Yeah. Damn it. That's kind of what I wanted to go to with the whole like wants to have a baby, but she's probably dealing with trauma. Okay. All right. Anita, what would be the next question you would ask her to figure out if she would be the right fit for you or not?
To be honest, it would be the same for the
You can
last
only do that once,
scenario.
Anita. You can't keep
But it's the
saying it's going to
truth.
be.
It's the truth.
Okay.
She's an adult.
Yes.
And right. And like how committed, like how committed are you? And so even if like trauma and stuff surfaced, I always have time to refer in between. And I would mention that. But it's like, if I can tell, like if they're just wishy-washy with, I really want this desire, you know, this is what I want. This is what I'm going through. And then I'll be like, okay, if you're all in, you got to be all in.
Okay, Rosie, how about you? What would be the next question or set of questions you would ask to figure out if they're the right fit for you?
Yeah,
She's
it's based on, it's interesting because I'm just listening to, you know, both what Karen and Anita are saying, but I think it's, if I were to say, are you open to what unfolds? Are you okay with what unfolds? If you can't predict it, if it's not your goal, I think that will tell me a lot too. Because I think part of this journey is you, like what already Anita mentioned, you can't predict you can have a goal, but the journey is usually very different and you can't predict when they have their aha moments or what's going to be released next. That's why anything that you brought up, those are issues, but essentially you don't know what's really going to come up until you start going in. Right. And I think that's the part you just let it be and you let it unfold the way it needs to. But I think that is a question I would ask is, are you open to what will unfold, even if you don't know what that is? And then to have a deeper conversation of what that means for them. Why is it important to reach the goal in exactly 3 months? I would be more curious about that and what their reasons are behind it.
Elisa, and I wanted
Yes.
to add, like for me, I like, you know, because I don't do discovery calls, I do a full-on session, like 1 or 2 sessions. That could test like how committed they are and their willingness. And then like, you know, I asked them like, how committed are they towards their goal? But it's not even for me, like how clear are they? So I would ask them to rate it from 1 to 10. If it's a 6 or 7, kinda, like, you know, then I would ask like, okay, like what do you need in order to even get it 1 point higher? And then ask the question, like, you know, like commitment level, like, you know, that you're okay to sit with this another few months or years, or are you really clear? So like those are kind of the questions that I would ask to gauge. But I echo what Rosie and Anita said, like they need to be open and willing, because like coaching is a co-partnership and co-creative relationship. It can't just be, I can't want their goal more than they want it.
Okay, you know what? At some point, we might just have a round 2 when I can come up with even better scenarios. So let's do this. We're going to do a quick 2-word game. So 2-word game, just 2 words, just 2 words. So Anita, you first. 2 words, takeaways from this session.
This session?
2 words.
Perspective.
And
And
we'll get into that.
Value.
No. All right.
Right?
We'll dig in.
No.
We'll dig in. I want to hear everyone's first. Okay, Karen, 2 words.
Well, like-minded individuals.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There's a hyphen, so I will allow that. Like-minded is 1, and then individuals. Okay.
So specific. That's great.
Thank you for sticking to the rules. Appreciate you. And then Rosie. All right. 2 words.
I'm still on that. You can't hear my chuckles in the back when I mute. Gratitude and connection.
Ooh, yes. Okay, so Anita, perspective and value. Please elaborate.
I'm gonna try not to cry. I'm just kidding.
Please do.
I hate when I say that. You know, we teach our clients not to say that and be like, it's safe. You know, I'm really grateful there's other nurses who recognize this work. Because in the beginning, I thought I was the only one and I couldn't save everybody and I wanted to save everybody. And it was really hard. And I think I stopped. And so when I see this rise of other nurses who recognize true holistic healing and care for not only their patients, but each other, like that would be, God, a world I would love to live in.
Oh,
Just kidding. I'm being dramatic now with the
Miss
cry.
America, your Miss America speech, Miss Universe. Yes.
And I'm like, really, so that's perspective. And I got to see each one of you like shine in like, I don't know, less than an hour and sharing like your experiences. And I'm like, oh my God, light workers that are nurses that exist, who's willing to show up and shine this side of them. Like it's so beautiful. And to link that with my second word, immense, like it's so valuable. It's so valuable. I see you both integrate both. Like I believe we all went through what we had to get to this point, which is a gift, right? And that you guys actually heed the calling. And it's hard. Like healing work is freaking not hard. When you see the work we do, and nobody ever sees, this is the thing about nursing. And really as healers, no one sees the behind the scenes. Just being able to like talk with you both and hearing how you coach and your modalities, it's fun because this is like it's lonely work to be a leader and to guide, and you're in the front all the time and people look to you. And so, you know, when I and I forget this, like I forget that there's other folks. And so I'm glad Elisa brought us together. I'm like, I can always give you guys a call now and just be like, I want to vent. Like, with that being said, like, I am really complete and super grateful for tonight. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Anita. And Karen, like-minded individuals, go ahead, elaborate.
Like, well, like what Anita said, just the vibe, the energy, like, I'm not alone, that there's other nurses doing it, and bless Anita's heart, because like I tried burnout nurses and I'm like, ooh, that was before I learned that I didn't have the restorative strength. I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't enjoy it. I'm like, now just having the community, I'm like, oh, okay, like she's there, or Rosie, like, they're just having that community of healers that could really support and get. And Rosie even said it from the very beginning, like, what most people really want is just for them to be seen, to be heard, and what they say matters. Like, does our eyes light up when we see them, or like the people in their life, do the eyes of the people in their life light up when they see them? They just truly just want to be seen. And that's the beauty of coaching. Like, I love just what Rosie and Anita said, like those deep, meaningful conversations, like when emotion starts coming up, like for them to share parts of them that they've never shared with anyone else. And we're just there, the safe container where they could just be. And sometimes those are the best coaching conversations, where we just listen, not a lot of questions, just active listening and our presence.
Thank you, Karen. I love all these beautiful. You all want to save the world. I get it. You're beautiful souls. All right, Rosie. And you?
Ooh, so many beautiful things from this call. I mean, I'm in gratitude for you for reaching out, for connecting all of us. I mean, these two words for me really tie together for multiple reasons. I think I'm just in a space where I'm in awe of meeting other healers who have such kind hearts. I think egos always exist, but the ego, I'm going to say, is in the backseat. That's not what's driving your passion. Your passion is truly coming from the heart, and it's a very authentic call, and it's amazing to see that in this room, because all of us have spoken with true passion and conviction that this is what we really love to do. And it is hard work, doing that self-work, that inner child work, like coming to terms with that. What we do in that kind of work is essentially what we do for our clients and showing them the way that it is possible to heal. But it's beautiful to hear how each of us do that in our own unique ways. And honestly, being in a room with other Filipino women, you have to understand, I mean, you know, when you talked about Karen, like the world, you know, how coaching is led by, you know, mostly Caucasians. I mean, we live in America. I mean, America is still driven in that way. And I'm not saying that as a good or bad thing. It's just a reality. But seeing people of color, seeing women, like these minority groups step up to the plate in this kind of healing and still have that voice each and every day to hold that space for other people, such a beautiful thing. Gratitude, connection, all of it's all related. So I'm just in the space where I really feel connected with all of you right now. And it's just, if I can lean back, I mean, if I can call all of you on something if I needed it. And I think that is the beauty of that connection. So
Yes.
all I will say is I'm thankful and blessed to be here and see all of you and learn and just meet all of you. Wonderful.
Connected. From
Yes.
competition to connected. I don't have a podcast name yet, so I'm throwing around a bunch of stuff. Thank you all for sharing those beautiful 2-word takeaways or insights from the session. So unfortunately, I tried to fit mine into 2 words. It's not quite going to work out that way. But what I want to do is wrap up with kind of seeing how I can refer people to each one of you more precisely. So for Karen, I believe it is purposeful play. For Anita, I want to say it's creative crying.
That's great.
Creative crying, yes. And for Rosie, I
I'm
want to
taking
say
notes.
it's embodied empowerment.
Ooh, that lands. That's good.
Yes, because of the dance.
Ooh.
Hey, yes.
Ooh.
Rosie's
I see her dancing. Yeah,
yes,
I
she
love
is a
it. I
dance.
love
Yes,
it when I saw
exactly.
your feed.
And
Yeah.
in terms of clients who, you know, because I'm kind of a curator.
Kinda.
I was telling Karen that when people come to Vegas and they ask for restaurant recommendations, I don't give them just a generic list like, here's all my restaurants. I'm like, do they like sushi? No, they don't like raw fish. They like this. All right. So I go through the painstaking, thing of teasing out the restaurants for them. So Karen, the buzzwords I think of in terms of people, when I hear people and what they're looking for and needing, inner child, definitely. I think of you. For Anita, burnout. Calloused burnout, yes. Calloused burnout. Sorry, I couldn't think of a more eloquent way to say that, but yes, it's just
Okay.
burnout.
Don't need to be. Yeah.
Yes. And then Rosie, for you, it's this one I can go to as, okay, no, I'm just gonna go with my first gut is, let's see, it's unconventional in the institution. So, the whole theme of the diversity, the inclusion, the, integrating your queer identity, if you want to call it an identity or label, I don't know, into what is very strict, rigid, kind of old school traditional institutions. So people who are kind of wrestling between the two. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. I
Yeah.
never would have put those words together, if I'm being honest. Wow. But you're hitting something deep right now that's like, yes.
Oh, yes.
It does sit.
Any feedback? Did I just like hit a bad string with any of you all, or did it just kind of like, okay, yes.
It's good. Like Elisa, I'm just, like your gift, girl. I'm just so happy to see it in action.
Yeah, she's
And
amazing.
And so grateful for this community. Like, oh my goodness, yes, totally burnt out. I'm now, you're my go-to for burnout people.
Yes,
You know?
referral.
Yes,
You could be part of my
yes,
referral circle.
exactly.
Thank you.
That's right. A client will come to me, hey, do you know someone that does this? And I'm just kind of like, ooh, man, I wish I did. Like,
Oh.
I can't help you.
More- But I think I still need more clarity with Rosie though, because it's still vague in my mind. I'm like,
Ah.
ooh, could I refer to her? No,
Oh yeah, Rosie, because I would like to do the same.
I feel like it's people who are more specifically hiding an aspect of themselves in, let's say, their workplace or family place. Like they haven't been able to integrate that fully. Like a very easy example, you see Rosie's tattoos there. For a while, it was like, can I show this in the
Great.
hospital
That's so
setting? Will
good.
I be taken seriously, kind of thing?
Mm.
So integrating very unconventional kind of things in a place where you wouldn't normally see it.
But the word that came to my mind is the rebel. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's good.
basically, yeah. A little
I
rebel
like that.
inside.
I'm a little
Yeah.
provocateur personality too. I think I get what you're saying with that because I think part of my personal journey is who I am. I don't call myself the black sheep of the family. I call myself the colorful sheep. And so I've worked a lot against the grain. Used to be Catholic. I identify as queer, and my look is very fluid. And so growing up in a very traditional Filipino family, it was very hard for me to be who I was without feeling like I was going to be judged or criticized. So I do get what you're saying, because I think for some people, if they know who they are, they're scared to do that because of what the quote unquote norms are or what the conventional rules are. And it's hard to step out of that sometimes, depending on who's in your community and who you're raised by. And so finding your voice in that. So I hear that. Hopefully that gives some clarity too, because it's really a reflection of also my own self-work in the last decade of being comfortable coming. I mean, just even wearing a tank top with you guys showing my tattoo. I didn't really care. I was just like, I'm just going to come in here and be myself, but this is me. I mean, like but that's part of what's hard for some people, for example, who are queer, who can't come out as gay or who can't come out as lesbians, like in their family, because they're scared of getting shunned. They're scared that they, so I think that just kind of giving like a very clear example on that. I love helping people find their voice, but in general, it could be any kind of voice, but specifically something that probably isn't in their normal world. It doesn't exist. And they feel that it's impossible at that time.
Yeah.
Now they can connect the unconventional.
Yeah. So, I mean, Rebel kind of has this like, the institution, but it's not necessarily that overt. Like how Karen, you deal with quietly ambitious women. Rosie would be like the quiet rebel, like the rebel inside kind of thing, just not fitting the status quo. So yes. Wow, this is even better than I had expected. Thank you so much for playing with me. I'm so glad that you all feel connected to a new community. And that's a wrap. Ooh, we got Rosie, who's serving those misfits, the quiet rebels, those unconventional people who want to embody their power, who want to feel comfortable in their skin. We've got Karen, who wants to serve immigrant women of color, who want to bring back more play into their lives, cross off their bucket list. And then we have Anita serving up those nurses who are experiencing chronic pain and need some way to release the tensions from the job. Woo! Man, isn't it just so much clearer how Rosie, Karen, and Anita all stand out from each other? It's so much easier to refer people to them. Yes. Goal accomplished. All right. So many takeaways from this episode. Plenty. But if there's one thing I want to leave you with to noodle on is there are so many people you can serve. You'd be good at it. Yeah. But who is it that you will be great at serving? Who is that muse that you are going to commit to and stay disciplined to serving so that you can say no to everyone else and hell yeah to when they come around? Yes, commitment and discipline. This is one of the toughest transitions that service providers go through. You go from serving almost everyone who you just take in because you're like, hey, I need the business, to, okay, you know what? I'm going to be more intentional about who I'm spending energy with. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for tuning in to the first ever competitor to collaborator panel here on the Vivid Edge channel. Ooh, this is a huge milestone for me as I make this debut on the YouTube. So, man, I really appreciate you for being on this journey with me. The games and conversations are just going to get better here on out, I promise. Maybe even more unhinged. So, share the video with a service provider, maybe a life coach. And you know what? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you're taking away or what it is that you liked from this panel. Again, appreciate you. Thank you. But don't go too far. We're going to be coming in with some more stuff, some more panels, but we're also going to be mixing in some how-tos, some strategies, some audits. Oh, audits doesn't sound fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to have some nerdy strategy, brand strategy fun. All of that to say, I will see you soon. Peace out, fam. Thank you all. I hope you all have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
This was
Who
great.
knew we were gonna get those gems to branding at the end?
Yeah, I was like,
didn't
I was
whoa.
really grateful. I was like, oh, we have a session? Okay.
I didn't
Let me
know
pay attention. I'm
either.
gonna take some notes.
I
You'll
took
have
wrote
the
it down.
I know.
recording.
Oh,
I know,
You'll
but
have
I
the
want it now.
recording.
So I was
I
like,
know.
let me write it really quick.
It'll be on YouTube. I'll
I
put your
know.
contact names
I
and all
know.
that.
But still, I'm like, ooh, what a gift. So
Yeah,
thank
Yeah.
you, sis.
you guys are my
Appreciate you
gift.
both.
Thank you.
I appreciate
right.
everyone.
Thank you,
I'm
everyone.
sending you all so much love.